Hello and welcome to the final bell. It's great to have you with us for another week, proudly presented by GMHBA, and I'm joined, as I am every single week, by AFLW skipper. I think a very excited AFLW skipper, given we are on the eve of the first game, Meg McDonald. Hello, Meg.
Hey, Lingy, absolutely. I'm losing count of how many people have asked if I'm pumped. So to everyone, public service announcement, we're all pumped. We're ready to go.
Yep. All right, I'll try not to ask too much.
No.
I'll ask the important question from
Yeah.
last week's podcast.
Yeah, go on.
The important question is,
my
you
goodness.
told us that you were hosting the entire team for
yes.
lunch on Saturday, I believe.
Yes.
Before the
Coming on
Cats
down here.
Eagles game. What did you serve? How did it go?
Yeah, honestly, proud of myself. I'm not going to lie, Lingy, because something I've inherited, particularly from my mum, is loves hosting, loves entertaining, loves cooking, but the pressure on that is just like everything has to be perfect and you're sort of apologising before anyone gets there. So I just nailed it. I'm not going to lie. From an anxiety point of view, I bought the rotisserie chickens the night before, got the bread rolls the morning of. I'd made just one salad, 2 bowls, 1 salad, tried a new dressing, had the avo from the club, and it was just all very achievable. And then the gals just led the vibe from there. So
Nice.
it was a success, I would say. And I know a few of my teammates listen to this podcast, so I've patted myself on the back, possibly too hard. But it was a great energy, and we rolled into an awesome afternoon at the footy.
Just those teammates who do listen, if you've got any feedback and you want to send it through in the form of questions, we do love our listener questions, in particular from Meg's teammates.
Yeah.
Any feedback on that lunch, please let us know.
Please let us know.
It sounds like you've done a great job. Then headed over to watch the Cats take on the Eagles.
Yeah, it was
Great
a
time
great
slot,
afternoon.
the 1:45 time
I
slot.
just kept looking at our watch towards the end of the game going, it's only 4:30.
Yeah.
How good's this?
Brilliant. It was certainly brilliant. We are going to talk all things Cats versus Eagles. In segment 2, we're only going to have 2 segments in this podcast. We're going to catch up with your teammate, your vice captain, Becky Webster, ahead of the first game on this Saturday night against the D's at GMHBA Stadium, 7:15 p.m. Let's talk Cats Eagles.
Let's do it.
Let's get excited about the fact, well, it was a relaxing day at the footy. I'll put it that way. I was there with my wife and 3 boys. I thought, I know we're going to win. Deep down, you just the Cats, we're going to be sharp because we're prepping for finals. Eagles, a little bit undermanned. They've struggled a little bit. We're going to win, but come on, don't make it one of those stressful ones where it's kind of close and then, maybe we just pull away. No, they made it a relaxing day. 100 points up at halftime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was reminded of what you always say about the Geelong crowd when, we kick some great first goals and there's just a polite little applause. It's seated. No one's overexcited because, as you rightly said, I think everyone was expecting that from the team. But that's a great little How do you sit on this sort of sharpen up before finals? Do you want to just be absolutely flowing like that, or would you have liked a tighter game?
No, so I as a build-up, now the pre-finals bye throws a little spanner in all of this. But as a build-up, I'm looking for a couple of things. I want a couple of good hard games, probably 2-3 weeks before finals.
Yeah,
so
we've had that.
I think the Saints one, they learned a lot, played some good footy and then played some poor footy. The Freo game was an outstanding, hard, strong win, interstate, really good. Crows, good, close win. So a couple of good, hard tune-ups there. Then I look for if there is an easier win in the run home and particularly the game before, how they go about it. Yeah. Now, if it had been this easy, bruise-free, but sort of spluttering, skill error-riddled game and it's ended up, we win it by 22 points, but it was, that wasn't great. I might not love that as a preparation, but a hard, ruthless, do the work early,
slick,
just put it to bed,
and
then make it an easy, cruisy second half.
Yeah,
I love that as a tune-up. The mindset's there, understanding of how we play. We're a better team given where we sit on the ladder, the time of the year. They're finishing up their season. We're looking for bigger things. Do it early, win early, job done. You could pick apart the second half all you like, but it doesn't matter because you've done the work early. I love that. Now take the week off, reset everything. and then game on Thursday night football at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Be brilliant.
Won't it? I'm sure we should. I mean, we shouldn't gloss over what a great performance it was, though, because there were some big time performances in there. I mean, the number 5, he goes all right.
7 to half time, was it?
7 to half time,
Yeah.
which a bit like the team. You sort of, I'm at half time going, Jez is kicking over 13. The Cats are winning by 200 points, and then I paid no attention to things like, certain players, which I'm sure we'll get to, ended up on the bench and all that sort of stuff because I was all in for doubling down, but foot off the accelerator.
We were also, I think, as a crowd, just cheering the ball to go to Jez every time. I
think West Coast were onto it.
Yeah, I reckon the fact they had 4 players basically surrounding Jeremy at all times, they were trying to stop him getting to double figures, and they did it. But he does end up with 9 goals. Ollie Henry was terrific with the 4 goals as well. Had his hands really good, and
didn't he? I think Scotty might have said in the post match that he probably should have kicked 8, but he put himself in front of the big 6 with the ball in his hands, which is a great start. Fantastic
performance.
And actually, I know we might not get to him. So his brother down the other end is in some serious form.
So now I don't for one second. Jakey, our producer, is just a star, and you are involved in the rundown as well.
Yeah, I haven't checked his stats.
Both of you are involved in the rundown that we receive here. Now, I don't know where you get your best players from on this rundown.
Oh, hang on now.
But there is some. This is just some strong feedback coming both of your way. The best players that I've got listed here: Jeremy Cameron, fair enough. Max Holmes, absolutely fair enough. Dangerfield, Stanley, Atkins, Manor, superb.
Yeah.
I don't see Jack Henry's name in the best players. Cameron and Holmes, maybe the slightest bit ahead of Jack, or only Cameron ahead of Jack. I had Jack Henry as either second or third best on ground. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was unreal. And I was, we'll go to air with this. I was sitting in the row in front of Tom, their elder brother, right? Tom is dating. I think it's on the social media. We'll go with it. One of our players, right? Okay. Well, beautiful, great. You can ask her about it on the Girls, Jack. Anyway, so we have a great relationship with Tom. He is one of the biggest supporters of the W team. And I leaned over and I said, now, Tom, who wins in a 1v1? Like Jack or Ollie? I'm sorry, Ollie. He did not hesitate for one second. He was just like, Jack. And apparently they go at each other in the gym all the time. But all that is to say that I was just struck by his form. And honestly, I actually went down to the rooms after the game and looked at our coach, Dan Lather, in the eye, and I said, this week I'm just Jack Henry vibes. I'm just watching his highlights all week, and that's the mindset.
I love that you're going to channel those because
taken absolute.
He was marking everything. That was the most exciting bit. He's so good at his closing speed, his athleticism, his defensive work, his spoiling, his positioning, all of that. But then just to add the element of marking everything that came his way. It was an incredible performance. So I believe eye-catching to – I was sitting with my boys plus – a couple of their friends always come and sit with us as well. We end up with about 27 kids around us. Apologies to all the other people who sit in the area. There's a bunch of kids all end up sitting there. And I kept leaning over and saying, boys, are you watching Jack Henry?
Oh my gosh.
This is like, that's how you want to play a defender's game where you can influence in the air so massively.
Yeah. No, shout out. It wasn't on the run. He wasn't on the run sheet, so we've made up for it.
Jakey and Meg, just some nice feedback for you there about your best players.
6th for intercept marks in the comp. Thank you, Jake. Is Jack Henry, and he's come strong. Surely he gets. We're getting to it. Surely there's an AA nom in his future.
I think so. We will get to the All Australian. We can go straight there if you want.
No, who else have we got to highlight? Stanley, Reese.
Actually, let's talk about that because we do Bendigo Banks Meet the Moment nominees. As I always say, check the social media channels of the club plus the website. Have your say. Reese Stanley is involved in one of those Meet the Moments, but also just to talk more broadly about his game. I think the 3rd highest champion data rankings he's ever had in his career took place on Saturday. He was terrific.
Wasn't he just? And the way he used his strengths, his comparative, we'll go with that, strengths. He was challenging forward. He kicked 2 goals of his own. He laid that first one off to Jez. He's on at the right time of the year.
12 score assists, I think was the number.
I don't know if you've seen Jez's YouTube. Anyway, he was farming with Reece this week or last week. I think it was before this weekend's game, and I was like, boys, more of that.
More farming.
More connection, more interaction comes out on the field.
It certainly does. Well, speaking of that, the other Meet the Moment nominee is Jez, the old right to left drop punt from the pocket, if you don't mind. Just, he's kicking.
Great call in the commentary, I must say, about that. Just put it in the book.
It.
They were like, tricky kick for him, or is it, or something like that. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. He felt like
the mastery.
Cross the body, drop punt, whatever it is. Mastery, that's a great word. Just, you can see that he has trained his craft. I know we caught up with him a couple of weeks ago and you asked him about how that came about and he would just, as a kid, the ball round doorways, everything like that. I think it was the electric poles, all that practice. But you can see even more so since he's become an AFL player, the constant desire to master his craft when it comes out on the field. So vote for either one of those, the Bendigo Banks Meet the Moments. I quickly glossed over Max Holmes. I probably shouldn't have. I thought he was brilliant. His run and ability to open up the game early on when the game was still there and the Cats needed to do the work early. He's the one who just ripped open the middle of the ground, and Jezza was on fire and Ollie was on fire and all our forwards were on fire. But heaven help the West Coast defenders when you have Max Holmes blitzing through the middle of the ground there.
Absolutely. And I just put a little, I know we're not going to preview Port until next week, but I look at that and I look at some of their mids and I think it'll be a big day for Maxie and his ability to use that explosive speed because they've got one of their own. So something to look forward to. But he was fantastic. They
do have a few decent midfielders, Port Adelaide, don't they? It'll be a wonderful challenge through the middle of the ground. We do have top 4 locked away now, which is really exciting. I know lots of Cats fans like myself were quickly checking the live ladder to see where our percentage was ending up. The results fell where the Dogs beat the Giants, dropping them to 4th. Obviously, Port Adelaide got over the top of Fremantle and kept that home final. So the Cats heading to Adelaide Oval, as all our listeners would know, Thursday night.
I was pretty confident about second place. I'm not going to lie. When it came out that Freo by 24 points or whatever was needed, but then you remember that Port are probably in second for a reason, so that's all right. Any place, anytime, anywhere, anyhow.
Exactly right. That's the way you got to do it. You touched on it before. The All-Australian squad has come out, the 40. The Cats having 3 members in there. Jeremy Cameron, not surprising. Tyson Stengel, who's been All-Australian before. And Maxie Holmes. That's a 44-man squad, sorry. I need to recheck that.
You're out of there.
Yeah, I'm now out of it. It became a 44-man squad last year, I think it was, for the first time. Maxie Holmes, it's great reward for what has been a really good season.
Isn't it? I probably didn't have a mind for the AA announcement coming in, but he deserves it, and hopefully the first of many. I'm sure it's something that he'll take a lot of pride in, whether or not he makes the final team, but a massive step in the right direction, and I'm sure it won't be the last of his sort of awards come the end of the year.
No, he will certainly be well and truly up there in a certain best and fairest.
Absolutely. And the other two just...
brilliant years. Yeah, brilliant years.
Jeremy's up, I think he was second in the Coleman in the end after the old 9 goal haul.
Yeah. I don't know, my kids were starting to work out how many he needed to kick to beat Jesse Hogan and go ahead of him. I thought, that might be a stretch, boys. Might be a stretch. But no, fantastic recognition for them. Obviously, we find out the All-Australian team in a few weeks' time.
Who's your, out of those 3, who's your 1, 2, 3? Not for their performances, but for likelihood of making it.
I think Jez is still probably 1, and Tyson 2.
I think I would have put Tyson ahead a month or so ago. But anyway, we'll see.
No, might be right. I reckon our small forwards in general. Obviously, Tyson is the superstar of that group, but all of them look like they've got their legs. They're flying across the ground. They're dangerous. Their pressure and their hunt is there.
Their creativity is back. Like like Brad Close through the middle of the ground as a half forward, but the draw, the give, knowing when to hold on to it, when to give it, opening so much space for everyone else and just feeding Jez when they could have gone themselves was really exciting to see.
Yeah, it's a good combination, isn't it? Sean, Brian, Tyson, all of them are just playing such important roles and so busy, so crucial to the Cats' chances. All-Australian captain. I'm just going to put you on the spot here.
Oh, my
Give
gosh.
me a tip. All-Australian.
Who are we looking at?
Probably a question
Bont,
without
Cripper.
notice. Yeah.
I find it so hard not to just say the Bont in all things, but I can't supporters won't listen to this. I have been in the past been like possibly not as appreciative of Patrick Cripps as others, and I genuinely didn't know. I've had times this year where I've thought I didn't know he could be this footballer just with the finishing ability that he's brought in. He looks, fresher and he's hitting the scoreboard, so he's been unbelievable. But Marcus Bontempelli. How about you?
The answer to most questions is Marcus Bontempelli, by the way. But I wonder.
Is there another I'm forgetting? They're the two that are up.
Probably a question
without
Neil. Notice.
I was going to say how much Shannon.
Okay,
in your future.
Well,
3-time Brownlow medalist.
Let's say any one of those. Yeah, Brownlow medal. So Lachie Neale probably gets the best on ground in the last game.
Yeah.
For Brisbane. Nick Dacos, I think, certainly gets the best on ground in the last game. Marcus Bontempelli, Jakey, maybe the 1 or 2 votes in the last game.
I think Treloar's popped his head. Treloar and Richards have started taking a couple of votes.
So you the Nick Dacos run home and the Lachie Neale run home might grab it. Isaac Heaney can no longer win it.
Yeah, but who knows? Who's? I'm trying to think. Who's the current favourite? Oh, Paddy Cripps. He's currently favourite, isn't he?
He's Cripps' favourite.
Yeah,
is that right?
It's like Cripps, and then I think Dacos and Bont are on pretty even. Anyway,
there we go.
Lawson Humphries.
I'm glad you brought up his name. Thank you, Jakey, because Lawson Humphries, we have heard after the game, I think there were a few worried Geelong supporters. Tom Stewart, Lawson Humphries, what's the go? Why? What's happened? Stewart was the one who was subbed off. I think it was officially him who was subbed off. Lawson was brought off. Chris Scott after the game said both looks really positive, more precautionary than anything. Maybe awareness or whatever they say. We're not going to risk it certainly this time of the year. GMHBA health update is always the best option to check up. But all reports is it's really positive and all good.
Yeah, I believe so. That's, I think you've got to be pretty confident to come immediately into the post-match presser and say they will both play. So we'll go with that.
I like that. So the Cats have the weekend off, obviously. The men's team, the AFLW don't. They kick off this Saturday night at GMHBA Stadium. The VFL too, we'll touch on them soon. They have a game of footy as well. It's not a usual weekend off total break given the game lands on a Thursday. So it's almost like just a long normal break. Instead of a 7-day break, it's a 12-day. Is that right?
Yeah. I think the guys are in today. I sort of expected that they'd have a few, more of a break. But, I mean, the sooner the better, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just get into it.
I've always thought I did a session with the Academy guys last week after the podcast, and one of the guys asked, with a weekend off, what do you just totally switch off for finals and then get ready? And I always said, no, don't totally switch off. Yeah. It's almost treat it like it is this longer break, but still a normal break as best you can. So your mind stays locked in on who you're playing, what you need to do. You can take your time a little bit more because you've got the extra day of recovery you can do, or you can schedule in an extra massage. You don't want to schedule in 10 extra massages. Yeah. You can just pop one in because it's a 12-day break instead of a normal 7-day break.
You'd usually have 2 in that time period anyway.
Yeah, so still have your mind very much. Your body can just take that little bit longer to get going, but mentally, you're in the zone and you're ready and prepared and excited to play.
Oh, well, none better that they could have heard it from. Let's go.
I don't know. Hopefully some of it's soaked in. We better take a break because your teammate, Becky Webster, is about to join us.
Becky Webster, I don't play favourites, but why not? She's up there.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, she hasn't quite walked through that door yet, so we won't say that.
No.
You're not allowed to play favourites, huh?
That's why I said I don't.
Yeah.
I said she's up there.
Up there. Okay. Well clarified. We had our under 12 presentation night.
How'd you go not playing favourites in your son's team?
Well, I got my son up and then a couple of his mates and everything like that. And there's one kid who beautiful kid, will help with anything, like help. He, even when I was coaching his younger brother last year, he'd come along and help roll balls for me and everything like that. He's just a beautiful, and I said in front of everyone, the entire club, I said, I know you're not supposed to play favourites, but this kid's my favourite in the whole team. A few of the other coaches gave me a look like, no, you can't say that. But I did have a favourite, so it's okay to admit it.
Yeah, and the drink bottles and the cones will forevermore be picked up for you. So that's how it goes.
Exactly right. Let's take a break. Becky Webster's coming up next.
GMHBA is Geelong's own not-for-profit health insurer who has been caring for the Geelong community for 90 years and is a proud sponsor of the mighty Geelong Cats.
Welcome back. It is great to have you with us on To the Final Bell, proudly brought to you by GMHBA. Big thanks to them for all of their support, for allowing us to do the podcast, Meg, but also allowing us to have a guest on occasionally, and we're very excited. This time we've got Becky Webster joining us. Hello, Becky.
Hello, guys. How are you? And thanks, GMHBA, for having me on.
She's a pro these days, Lingy. She knows how to do the shout-out. She knows how to do the nods.
Yeah. If you've got any tips for me, I'd really appreciate it, because I need all the help I can get. But we do have you on mainly because we are so excited the fact that the AFLW season kicks off this Saturday night. The Cats taking on the Demons here at GMHBA Stadium. I'll get the first question out of the way. Are you pumped? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you just like, hey, just play it down? We're not at game day yet.
No, I'm excited. I feel like it's been such a long time coming, Meg, and the rest of the girls are really excited. I think tonight we have our main session tonight here down at GMHBA, and it's just that feeling around the group will probably get ready for us for the weekend, but super excited.
I feel so aware of all the questions we usually get asked this time of year, and I'm trying to avoid them for you, but we'll probably double up. One thing that did happen over the pre-season, was Becky was elevated to the role of vice captain, had been in the leadership group for some time, so congratulations, Becky Webb.
Thanks, Meg.
Not just how does it make you feel, but I'm really interested in, how you've seen your own personal development in that respect. We said off the top that you're such a pro now about shouting people out and saying all the right things. But has it been a sort of deliberate effort for you to continue to expand your influence and step into those spaces, or is it just something that's happened as you've matured?
Yeah, great question, Meg. I think...
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I've always just tried to be as genuine as I can be and my authentic self. And, I really want to push the standards amongst the group, and ultimately I want the ultimate success at this club and with the girls we have. And I think that sort of has driven me down that leadership path. It's definitely not something that I was aspiring to be a vice captain or anything like that. I was just obviously lucky enough that the girls saw me in that light in the club, and I feel very, very fortunate to be in that position and lead the girls alongside you, Dal. But pretty much I just wanted to be myself and push the standards for myself as well, and I think that sort of flows through the group, and that's sort of the leader I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely are that, and I've expressed to you privately how feels weird to say proud, but how excited I am for, the influence that you have and the way you're stepping into those spaces, of course, alongside Nina, who compliments you so well, and the rest of the leadership group for sure. I guess the other thing that happened that sort of ties in is, we're going back a bit now, but you signed a long-term deal, didn't you? A little €4.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, no.
Electronic signature.
DocuSign, great. How does that feel? And I think we speak about, both short and long-term success. Is that, you've forgotten about it already, but is that, how do you feel to be here locked in for the foreseeable future and building and driving the group forward?
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously grew up in a small country town of Benalla, and coming to Geelong, I kind of thought, I never really visited Geelong before then, and I just thought it would be like a small Melbourne, but it's a big country town. It's definitely not a small Melbourne. And I just, ever since I've been here, I just feel like Geelong's home to me, and being amongst the four walls, everyone's just so friendly and just has that same sort of country energy, which I don't think you can get at any other club, not that I've experienced that, but I just feel like home here at Geelong, and you know, this is definitely where I want to play the rest of my football. And the girls are great, the coaching staff's amazing, and yeah, it just sort of feels right to be here and for as long as I can. And yeah, very lucky that the club see that in me as well.
The team have just felt like they've just progressed year on year on year, getting better and better and better. Where's the next evolution? Where do you take the team to? Where do you take your own game to?
Yeah, I think being as consistent as we can. I keep, you know, the game's evolving across the competition as always, and I think getting faster, stronger. But the fundamentals of the game are super important as well. I think we've got a solid base in that, but to be able to keep elevating that and our forward 50 entries and scoring off the back of that, yeah, I think definitely the competition will grow with that score capacity and the speed and fastness of the game. So, yeah, I definitely think the team is in good nick and ready to go for round one and for the season ahead in terms of that sort of stuff. But, yeah, for me personally, I just want to, yeah, as I said, get stronger, fitter, faster, be able to read the game and use my shape support and yeah, support my teammates where I can there.
You're entering your 7th season. I think I'm right in saying that one. What about the new ones, the young players who come in? Are they considerably – now, I want to ask this in the nicest possible way. Are they considerably more ahead of you than what you were at the same time you entered because of better development, better resources put into the younger years, or is it pretty similar? Like, where's the advancement of the quality and the development that are coming through?
Yeah, the new girls are just killing it. They've obviously been able to go through all the pathways and develop the skills and play with more numbers. Like when I was growing up, I was lucky enough to go through the pathways, and I felt like I sort of played football since I was young to be able to develop that. But the girls have that opportunity from day dot now as well. I remember running around being the only girl in the comp, and I loved it. But sort of getting to 14 being like, okay, well, I need to go find a girls comp, which was maybe like 45 minutes away from where I lived. And now all these girls just have that opportunity to play women's football and develop and go through the process and know that there's a professional outcome if they want it to be there. So yeah, you see the young girls, and I think the difference as well with the younger girls is their ability to speak up and know the game and chat amongst the group and have an opinion, which is really driving the group as well.
I feel like they may or may not be more advanced than you were at 18, but there's certainly now the evolution of the team and the competition means that they won't be guaranteed a game in round one like perhaps you were at that same age, because players like yourself and that core group that were drafted together in that first year are now entering your prime. I certainly see that for you. Do you have a sense of coming into your own athletically, game sense, all those things? You must feel that you're growing in all those ways.
Yeah, 100%. I think the more you're around an elite environment, the more you can sort of prosper in that. But I just feel like, as I said before, Geelong's that environment where you can sort of be yourself and really elevate to where you want to be, and you've got the support around you. We've had a new high-performance coach come on board this year, Adam Larkin, and he's really pushed that standard for me as well, which has been great. But yeah, it's super exciting, and I just feel like I can take my game to the next level this year with all that support around me.
Now, Becky, on this podcast, we get to see the very insightful, very educated, often very fun, and build a real connection over Missy Higgins and that sort of thing. I'm talking about Meg McDonald here. What about the grumpy side of her? Is there ever Captain Grumpy out there? Is there?
I think I've ever been asked before.
Is there any little stories you can tell us about? Maybe the MegMac we don't get to see.
Go for it, girl.
Oh gosh, no, I don't think Meg gives off bad energies ever. So she's definitely a disciplined worker, and if she ever is feeling those thoughts, I'm sure she keeps them to herself or the close individuals that she can let out to. But no, we love our Meggie.
No, that's very nice of you, Becky. You are certainly one of those individuals. So the load that Becky takes sometimes when I'm having a rough one is significant.
Well,
so
I can't comment on how you'll be in a few weeks without having your sauna routine. So maybe we'll touch base then.
I know. I'm off the saunas at the moment, Lingy.
Oh, no. Why?
Could be good.
Hydration plan. Yeah, it could be good. That's right. Yeah.
Could be highly beneficial.
Could be highly beneficial. That's exactly right.
We shall see. It was interesting when Meg asked you a question about being vice captain and what you bring and everything like that. I've always thought through my experience over many years that the complementary nature of the captain and vice captain often can be two very different leadership styles at times that work really well because they cover all bases. What are some of the things that perhaps you feel you can bring to Meg or bring to that leadership that might be slightly different from what Meg brings?
Yeah, I feel like I look up, it's weird talking about Meg right next to me, but I quite look up to you, Meg, in terms of just your ability to just stay so composed and, always think logically and, almost say the right thing at the right moment all the time. I really love that about you. I feel like sometimes I just say random stuff here and there, and I love energy. I think that's what I try to bring, especially sort of game day and around training, and just really get the girls up and about. And, that's how I feel, and that's how I want the group to feel as well. So I think that's something that I can bring to the group, and around the club and that sort of vibe. So yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot with that. I want to make you talk about Meg in front of her like that. But yeah, I certainly over the years, those different personalities or a different thought here or there or a different angle for something like that, obviously really important when you're bringing an entire leadership group together, Megan. I suppose that's your role too, drawing out those different personalities of your leaders.
Absolutely. I think not only with Becky, but looking around our leadership group, I sat and we have meetings on Mondays, and I look around, I think you're all different in different ways. I like to think we're similar in a lot of ways, Becky. When you look at our other vice captain, Nina, I think we're so different from you, so different from Amy, different from Shan, different from Bowie. And as we've developed as a team, that diversity has come to the fore, and you can challenge each other but know that you're all pulling in the same direction ultimately. So there's no doubt I lean on them. And I said to the group yesterday, I think that truly shared leadership and genuinely bringing different things all the time is going to be absolutely fundamental to our success, and to allowing the leaders themselves to just focus on their role because everyone else is pulling their own weight. But Becky has always been one that's led with her energy. I think that was probably your first sort of your lead into that leadership space, was particularly on game day. I am driving the energy and the comms and the standards, and you've been able to maintain that while your performance continues to elevate. So very excited for Becky's future and for all our leaders. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see both of you pulling in the same direction along with those other leaders and
I'll
the
be
team.
giving the hands for Becky to go drive it forwards.
Lag, Meg, lag.
This Saturday night at GMHBA Stadium, 7:15 p.m. kick-off against the D's. It'll be a huge game. Grab your AFLW memberships. We want to get those numbers to record levels. Grab your tickets. Come along and support the Cats this Saturday night. Becky, good luck.
Good luck, and tune into the Girls. We're promoting the game, but also a little cross promo of the podcast. So obviously, Cats fans, you can see how well she speaks. So tune on in.
Absolutely. Good luck for the season. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you guys there.
GMHBA is Geelong's own not-for-profit health insurer who has been caring for the Geelong community for 90 years and is a proud sponsor of the mighty Geelong Cats.
So good to chat there with Becky Webster, Cats vice captain, ahead of the big game Saturday night, Meg. I can't wait for that one. Again, a little reminder, AFLW memberships, tickets they're all on sale. Jump on the website.
They're all on sale. The game day experience is really something else here, so make sure you get on down. It's a nice tight time slot. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great night. And I think you can tell when we speak to Becky and when I speak to my teammates. Pride is which implies such, this ownership of them, but you sort of swell with it when you hear them speak and get excited about their futures and see how much they've grown over now 7 seasons. It's crazy. So there's all of that, and then there's just, the ball goes up and we'll just get a hard ball and it'll be great.
Let's just play footy.
Yeah.
And ultimately the quicker a team can adjust to, okay, it's footy time now. There's been such a big build up. There's a launch, there's a pre-season, there's everything like that. We're all excited, and then, hey, it's a game of footy. We got to go to work. Yeah,
absolutely. I think particularly in the women's space, because we're very passionate about growing the game and growing membership and all that stuff. But then that sort of game week, that goes quiet a little bit and you lock in. So it's a good time.
It'll be fantastic. Huge game this Saturday night. GMHBA health update, as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the first segment. Check it out. Obviously, with the news around Tommy Stewart, Lawson Humphreys, all pretty positive stuff. But check out the GMHBA health update, which comes out and is much more accurate than anything we say here on the podcast.
We just put everyone in as on record.
Absolutely. Also a reminder too, the VFL playing their first final against Werribee this Saturday, 12:05 p.m. at Avalon Airport Oval, which is Werribee's oval there. So I reckon that's a good day of footy, isn't it? Head there.
Great day of footy. Plenty of time to get home.
Get home, maybe grab a little bite to eat, and then come and watch the AFLW here.
No, it's an exciting time to be a Cats fan. My goodness, 3 teams up and at it at once, and historic season on the cards for us, I think, and couple of final series. So
perfect.
Put those hoops on.
Perfect. Exactly right. Well said, Meg. We will be back next week to obviously preview the Cats men's first final against Port Adelaide on the Thursday night. We'll talk about the AFLW's first clash. We'll talk about the VFL and their final. We'll talk about all things Cats. Meg, good luck.
Thanks,
enjoy.
Let's
Have
go.
a wonderful game.